Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the best trading strategies to make you a full-time investor with step-by-step instructions. Before we begin, please consider giving the video a like and hitting that subscribe button. It helps the algorithm notice that I'm even here. And to become profitable, please watch the entire video or everything is not going to really come together and you guys are just going to become frustrated here. I want to make sure you guys are having an 85% or higher win rate when it comes to trading, and this strategy does it, but only if you watch the entire video. So with all that being said, let's get started. So the core of this strategy is built around momentum. A lot of you guys have been trading over the last few days, weeks, months, years, and you guys still haven't found a way to become full-time investors because you guys are basically trading during the wrong circumstances, the wrong trading times, okay? So what this strategy is going to help you do is say, hey, when the market is going up, that's when I want you guys to be swing trading, day trading, going crazy with all of your investments. But when the market is going flat or the market is going down, you guys can take the day off, take the week off, take the month off, and just relax because you're going to be making so much money with confidence when the market is going up. You don't have to worry about trying to do all the difficult trading of trading a choppy market or, God forbid, a very bearish market, okay? Different ways of doing this, but this is the way that's going to really propel you to become full-time investors, okay? So to get started off here, what I want to do is set up your macro charts. This is basically the ones that tell you, okay, it's okay to buy. Okay, you should actually be like starting to work and do all of your trading during this time, all right? So setting up your macro charts weekly and daily. We're going to be doing a standard MACD, a standard RSI, a custom stochastic with settings that I've made myself. And then we're going to be waiting for all of these things to be bullish on the weekly chart to start the swing trading. And then we're going to be looking at weekly and daily bullish to do some day trading. All right. So let's hop out of this very fast and then move right on over to our charts. So now that we're on TradingView, the first thing you guys need to do is actually go over here and I want you to create a brand new layout. You can name it whatever you want to, test, momentum. For now, let's just go with momentum because we're going to be working with that strategy. Hit save. It's going to open up a brand new tab. It's going to be 100% blank with nothing really on it except for volume. What I want you guys to do first is get rid of the volume. I'm going to zoom in around 175% so you guys can see everything I'm doing here. And right now we're just going to be using the Bitcoin chart, okay? So to get started, two things. First, go over to momentum. You see this name right here? To the left of it, you're going to see layout setup. I want you guys to make 4 charts out of this. 4. Now let's go back to the first chart here. Okay. Go over here to indicators, metrics, and strategies. Type in the MACD. A lot of you guys already know this part of the strategy here. Go to settings. Don't worry about anything on this page right here. Just make these lines a little bit thicker. All right. And that's all you guys have to do with the MACD right now. Afterwards, go back to indicators, metrics, and type in stochastic. You're going to see it right here under technicals. Again, style, make sure these lines are just a little bit thicker. Go to inputs. Now we're changing these to 21, 5, and 5. What it does is it smooths out all of the stuff we don't want to be looking at, okay? Just smooths out just a little bit here. And then finally on this one, we're going to be typing in the RSI and getting the relative strength index under technicals. Give this one click, go back over here, and make sure that both the purple and the yellow lines are thick. You don't have to worry about anything else as far as the RSI unless you guys wanted to calculate divergence, which you guys do not have to do right now. All right. Now, this is the core strategy that you guys are going to be working on. When you guys have the, let's say the opportunity to buy, when this strategy allows you to buy, is when the MACD, the stochastic, and the RSI are all bullish. During those times, you guys can go gung-ho on longs, and the majority of the time, they're going to work. Now, we'll get more precise in here and do a lot of examples, but right now, just understand, if you buy right here, eventually it goes up. You're happy with those movements. As you can see right here, everything was bullish back over here. If you bought right here, you're very happy with the results. Going back over here, you're very happy with the results. And the last time it didn't work out for us was right here. And this was a big level of resistance, which we're going to talk about in the future about not buying at major levels of resistance. Okay. So that's the core right here. And then what that allows you to do is actually go to the day chart as well and say, hey, when the weekly chart is bullish and the day charts are also bullish here, that gives you the opportunity to have some amazing swing trades, okay? Some amazing swing trades, but we'll go into that a little bit more once you really start to break down the strategy. But that's going to be the first chart right there, okay? Next step here, and I'm not going to go back into this slideshow every single time here. You're going to see when each strategy unlocks, we just kind of talked about that. When the weekly momentum is good, all indicators bullish, we can start looking at the daily confirmations. Once the daily charts are all bullish, then we can do day trading, swing trading, and other swing trading, plus that master rule of never buying at a heavy level of resistance. And we'll talk about what a heavy level of resistance really means. Okay, so here is going to be the MicroStrategy number 1, day trading setup for the 15-minute chart. So for you day traders, this is going to be your favorite thing ever. So we have this chart built out right now. This is designed for weekly and daily, and this just tells you, okay, now you are prepared to go on to the next step and do these other types of strategies. So we're going to move over to the second one right here, make this into a larger one, and I want you guys to go over here to the 15-minute chart, and we're just going to be adding on a few different indicators on here, but they're going to be different than the ones we were just talking about, okay? So to get started right here, I want you guys to go on and add a MACD indicator just like we did before, but with a few different settings involved, okay? First, like always, just make sure the lines are thicker because since we are so zoomed in, they look very big to you, but once we go back out to 100% zoom, it's going to look very, very tiny. After that, you're going to see MACD inputs. This is where we're going to change things up a little bit. Instead of going with the time frame chart, you're going to actually make the time frame a 30 minutes. All right, so it's going to adjust this just a tad, and then afterwards, we're going to be adding on a Supertrend indicator. So you're going to see underneath my favorites right here, Supertrend by Keyvon, but go under community. If you type in Supertrend, you're going to see Supertrend by Keyvon has around 60,000 uses right now. Give that a click right there, and you're going to see it pop up onto your screen. We're going to have to make some adjustments to this. So what I want you guys to do is go over to the settings, and then I want you guys to go over to style first and get rid of downtrend begins, sell signal right here. You guys do not worry about the sell signals at all or the downtrend highlighter. Next up for inputs, these things are going to be a little bit more interesting. Instead of the ATR multiplier being 3, I want you guys to do 2.1 here, and then you're going to be done with that, and you're going to see a lot of buy signals here, some that are working, some that are not working, right? This one worked, this one did not, that one did very good. And the goal here is to make sure you guys understand which ones you guys are supposed to be buying, because you're always going to have signals telling you to buy, but you have to be able to interpret, oh, that's one that I actually don't want to follow. So the last thing you guys are going to be adding on to this particular one is going to be called the Bollinger Band. So just type in Bollinger, you're going to see under Technicals, Bollinger Bands. Give it one click. You're going to see it now. It adds it onto your chart. Go over here to settings very fast. And what I want you guys to do is actually go to style, get rid of the lower line right here and the basis line. I don't really use those all too much. If you must leave something on there, you can try basis, but for this strategy, I just don't think it's really warranted, okay? Next step for inputs, you guys actually don't have to change anything on here right now, which I think is a pretty good idea. So this is the second chart all set up for you guys. You guys will see some trading strategies that worked at their buy. That one worked out. This one did not. This one did not. You'll notice that over here, there's a big level of resistance. So if you bought at that level of resistance, it didn't work out. We'll come back to that in a minute here. But that is going to be your second chart filled out. And again, I know it looks cluttered. When we go back to 100% zoom, I guarantee it's going to look a lot better for you guys here. But we're going to do basically the same strategy, but adjusted for swing trading. So we're going to go over to the third chart now, and we're going to go over here to the 4-hour chart. Bitcoin had a little bit of a crash over the past few weeks. It was a tariff thing. Don't worry about that for now. But let's go back over here and add another MACD, moving average convergence divergence. As always, you guys know the drill. Thicker lines. Go to input, and instead of the time frame being chart, we're actually going to go to day here instead. All right. So while the last one was a 30-minute chart, this one has actually set the time frame to a 1-day chart. Hit OK here. Same concept. We're going to go back over here and type in Supertrend once more by Keyvon right there. Now we're going to change the settings again a little bit more. The ATR multiplier before was like 2.2. Now we're going to be moving this down, or excuse me, 2.1. Now we're going to be moving this down to around 3.3 here. Everything else can really stay the same as far as ATR period in the source. High-low 2 is usually the best way to go. And then from there, go to style, get rid of the downtrend, sell, downtrend highlighter. We only want to go long, and that usually works out the best for us, okay? Now, You can also add the Bollinger Bands onto this if you want to. I typically do just to make it a little bit easier for myself, but this is something where you don't necessarily need it for this, but I'll tell you the benefits, because as you guys are newer traders, you guys want to have more, not less, as long as it's not going to over clutter your charts, right? So get rid of the lower and the basis bands just like before. As far as all of this is concerned, the one thing I would say is move this from SMA to EMA here. That'll make your life just a little bit easier, and then hit OK. And just like that, you have 3 out of 4 charts really working for you right now. And then the last one we're going to be adjusting here is this 4th one, okay? And I promise after all this, we're going to bring it all together, and I'm going to show you guys step by step why this is going to work for you, and show you guys plenty of examples, which is always a nice thing. I feel like not a lot of people show you examples over like a period of like a year or something like that, and therefore you kind of just get like the last few weeks of good information, when in reality it may work for the last few weeks, but normally it doesn't work at all, right? So go back over here for the 4th one. And this one is also going to be something more of a hybrid of the last 2 we made. So day trading and swing trading, okay? So go over here to the 4-hour chart. We're going to add on a few different things for us. The first one is going to be, let's say for now, let's go with the Smart Money Concepts by Lux Algo. If you look in the community, Smart Money Concepts by Lux Algo has around 95,000 likes as this time. Click on it right here. Go to settings. This will take a minute. I promise it'll be over fast. I want you guys to turn color candles on, show internal structure, make sure all of this is on, but take a check mark to the confluence filter, make the internal label size normal. All of this you can leave the same except for the swing label size, keep it normal. You do not need to show the swing points, you do not need to show the strong high weak lows, but for most of you guys, if you feel like you need the extra level of support, you can put that on there. So if you guys are new, keep it. If you guys already know what those are, you can see it without actually having the alert there. You guys don't have to have it on there. But for most of you guys, let's keep it there. I want to turn on the internal order blocks and the swing order blocks, and I want each of these to be at 4. That way our screen isn't cluttered all too much. Order block filter, keep it to ATR. Everything in here, keep it the same, keep it the same, keep it the same. Go from tiny to normal for the equal high lows, and everything else right here, you can keep it exactly the same, all right? Now, after that, we're going to be going back and adding on some of the same things we had before. So because this is a 4-hour chart, we're going to be going to moving average convergence divergence here. And we're going to be adding on 2 specific MACDs to this one, okay? This is why this one's going to be a little bit more of a hybrid. You're going to notice that they're going to have different colored lines. Make sure that you guys adjust and kind of understand which one is which. That way it just speeds the process up for you guys eventually. So for this one, we're going to have it set for 30 minutes like we did the first one. And this one, we're going to have it set for a day. Now, when you guys are looking at this on the 4-hour chart, it's going to be pretty obvious. This is for a smaller time frame, 30 minutes. This is for a larger time frame, daily, right? And in this one in particular, you guys actually do not need the Bollinger Bands. So let me explain how all of this is going to work right now, just so you guys have a clear understanding, because this is going to be a multiple step type of thing, all right? So we were talking about the MicroStrategy. We put in the MicroStrategy 2 as far as swing trading, and then we just did the one with the Smart Money Concepts, okay? Now, when we're talking about buying going forward from here, I want you guys to understand that we are never buying at massive levels of resistance. If it breaks above that level of resistance, then you guys are free to buy in. If there's a small level of resistance, you guys can buy into that. But I'm talking about if you were to zoom out on a 4-hour chart or a daily chart and you just see this massive resistance that's been there for a minute, do not buy going into that, because it will just never really work out for you guys. Or it'll work out, but it'll work out like 20% of the time. So the other 80% you're losing money, and it doesn't really make much sense to do that, all right? So next step after that, we're going to be putting all of this together to help you guys understand step by step what needs to occur. So in order to do that though, I'm going to show you guys all of these charts again, and I'm going to zoom back out to 100% zoom so you guys have a clear idea of what's happening. So we have our main macro chart right here. Then we have our day trading strategy, our swing trading strategy, and then we have a mixture of both day trading and swing trading. And this is more for those of you guys who just want to have both of these in the same chart without having to do too much work, okay? Some of you guys don't have premium TradingView settings or the premium TradingView account, so you guys can't have all of this stuff on your charts. So if you just want to have one, this is going to be it, and we'll talk about this towards the end, all right? So here's the step-by-step guide. First, You always want to look at the monthly chart when it comes to Bitcoin in this top left-hand corner. When the monthly chart is green, you guys, that is your buying season. When the MACD is bearish right here during the monthly charts, that is your shorting season, all right? Most of the time, if you go to Bitcoin here, and let me just actually drop the Bitcoin long-term charts, you'll notice that when it's a buying season, we buy. When it's a selling season, we sell, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm talking about here. But when it's buying season, you know you should be going long all the time and having a great amount of fun with that, because the majority of all of your trading is going to happen within this period of time. And theoretically, what I do is you can take 4, 5, 6 months off during these nasty swing trades, or if you're greedy like I can be sometimes, you'll short into those markets and have a lot more fun. But while we're in these types of bearish environments here, there's no real reason to do a lot of bullish day trading or a lot of bullish swing trading. You might as well just be shorting because the entire market is falling down, and that's where you're going to make a lot of money, because there's a lot of fear during those times in the cryptocurrency markets. Okay, so once you know that you're in a bullish market because the MACD on the monthly chart is telling you to buy, then you can move over to the first step right here, which is going to be the weekly charts. Okay, you only have to check the monthly chart, once every few years. You don't have to focus on it too much, but just to be aware. Now, here's where things get interesting. When the weekly chart has a bullish MACD, a bullish stochastic, and a bullish RSI, that is when you want to go a lot more long on all of your trades, okay? So you can see right here, we talked about this at the beginning, everything is aligned and going bullish, therefore you want to start buying right here and following those moves, except for there is a big level of resistance. So why don't you just make sure it breaks out here, then you have a few good weeks of really solid trading, all right? Over here, same type of thing, big level of resistance, maybe you want to wait over here or something like that. Still, you get an opportunity to move, but I'll show you that it's not just the weekly charts, it's the daily charts as well. Okay, this is why even though you had a level of resistance, that chart gave you something over here, you can still trade, but it's going to be a little bit of a day trading and not so much of a swing trade. So next step on here, once you have the weekly charts on, that actually allows you, well, let me explain this in a different way. When the weekly charts are all green, that opens up the door for the swing tradings right here, all right? And we're going to come back to that in a second. And when the day trading, and the day chart and the weekly chart are both bullish, when they all have a MACD, stochastic, and RSIs for both the weekly charts and the daily charts all bullish, that opens up day trading signals for you guys as well, okay? So let's go step by step here and focus on the day trading first. The goal here is, let's say for an example that we have both of these set to the daily charts. It'll look kind of confusing for a second, but I want you guys to have a clear understanding of what's happening. So the weekly charts turn bullish way back over here and May 5th. So what I'm going to do is go back over here and just back test this a little bit for you guys and say, hey, okay, May 5th right there. Everything's looking very good for us. The weekly charts, the daily charts were already bullish during that time, so that's good for us. So let's go over here to the 15-minute chart. And I would say for now, this basically ended right over here on May 17th. Let's go to May 17th over here as well. There we go. All right. So now that we know the daily charts were bullish and the weekly charts, let's go back in time to see what was actually happening during that time if you follow the strategy. All right, now that we're here, here's the goal. When you have the MACD being bullish and a bullish buy signal, you can buy right there, and your goal is to sell at the next major level of resistance or a Fibonacci level or some level of resistance that you feel is more fitting for you. I will use basic resistance, like right here, you see there's a resistance level. You can add a Fibonacci level right here if you wanted to go up, down, right here. Resistance level over here, resistance level over here. And when you do that buy, you're looking for the recent trough in order to have your stop loss. So again, we just turned bullish right there. You can see that if you bought right here, you actually had a nice little move where Bitcoin ran up for a few hours and you made about 0.36% profit. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, trust me, I do, but the majority of the people using these types of strategies these days are going to be doing leverage investing. And I will say this, and this will be more of a focus for the end of this video. If you guys know that Bitcoin is going to be going up for the next hour or so, you can also trade Ethereum, Solana, or Dogecoin, because while Bitcoin may only go up 0.36%, you can buy Ethereum, and Ethereum will probably go up 1 to 2% in that time. So therefore, you can make money on Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana all at the same time if you wanted to, or just put all of your money into Solana or Ethereum instead of buying Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not giving you the money, but you know that when Bitcoin is going up, the altcoins will go up as well. All right. So I just want to make the point that if you guys bought right there, you're good. And in fact, the buy signal didn't even really, I know the buy signal came right here, but because the MACD turned green right here, you actually bought right there. You need about 45 minutes of good moves before we stalled out at that level of resistance. Let's go even further here. There's another one, green MACD right there. And again, you can see how this is a level of resistance, but it's not like a major level of resistance. All right. This is where you got to zoom out and you got to see, is there something really big here that I'm missing? Not really. There's a big level of resistance, but it's way up there. Okay. But let's go to the next one here. This lasted for a few minutes, few hours, I should say, and it hit this level of resistance right over here, and that's 0.45%. Again, you're going to have to use a little bit of leverage to make some good money off of this, but you can see right there that did work, and it actually went up a little bit higher. I would not bet on that happening, right? I'd rather just take my money and run. Therefore, I get a profitable trade. My account has grown, and because my account has grown, if I keep on doing this, my account will have more and more money. Remember, you just want to be very consistent with your wins. Therefore, your account gets larger and larger and larger. And if you want more money, don't do a high leverage. Just put money into Ethereum or Solana or Dogecoin or those other altcoins that move along with Bitcoin pretty consistently. Another one happened right here within the buy signal. You guys can see, again, there's a level of resistance. So you could either sell it right here or expect it to go higher. I'm the type of guy that would buy right here and sell at the level of resistance that's appearing. Excuse me. And that so far has worked. And again, you have your stop loss down here, buy, right up here. You managed a little bit of money. And again, another successful trade while the weekly chart was telling you to buy and while the day trading chart was telling you to buy, or the daily chart, excuse me. Now, you're going to see we have a buy signal right here, and this one did not go anywhere, but guess what? The MACD was bearish. So for, and because of that, there's no reason to buy when the MACD is bearish. So you skip that one. Here's one right over here, a buy signal that went right there. It kicked off right here at 7:45 a.m., which is right there. So you buy right here at a nice little low point, if I do add, and you ride that wave up. And again, what's that level of resistance you're looking for? Right now, it's still been that consistent one where we've been able to get above it a little bit, but that's been the level of resistance. So you guys buy right here and you sell right there. You get your 0.72% for holding for about an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes. It comes back down. It eventually goes higher, but again, that's the level of resistance. Interestingly enough, you have another one over here, again, still within that buying zone. A huge move comes up with the momentum being good. And on top of this, you're actually seeing a breakout occur. So if you do want to see that we're breaking out above this with some steam with a buy signal, you guys are typically going to buy around this level, which you guys can see right there. And you're going to be looking for that next level of resistance. In this circumstance, is there a big level of resistance over here that we're not paying attention to? You can zoom out a little bit. You can even add the smart money concepts, whatever. But you can see it gets kind of choppy here. Choppy, because we've been going higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So instead of that, we can zoom out a little bit saying, hey, is there anything over here? There's a level of resistance right here, perhaps. And you can see you could typically buy right there, sell right there if you wanted to, or you can let it ride a little bit. You can see there's a level of resistance right here. And again, I want to make this point clear. Even with that little bit of a move, for like a half an hour, you still are making that 0.62%. I know it may not seem like a crazy amount. I know you could hold this longer if you guys wanted to and kind of really ride this wave up. But if you guys want to ride the wave, this is where we unlock the Bollinger Bands here. The way you typically would do it is if you're having a rapid move and it's breaking out and you buy right here, in this circumstance, waiting for the breakout to occur, you buy right there, the following candle, and here's what I do. I will sell after we get the first red candle that closes below the Bollinger Band top, okay? So you'd buy right here, and you would sell right here because this is the first red candle that closed below the top of the Bollinger Band line. Now, you can see it still went higher, but I'm okay to take my buy right here after we broke out, closed above it, and I'm happy to do that right there. Okay, happy to sell. Moving forward, you don't take this buy because it's bearish. You don't take this buy because it's bearish. You take this buy because it's bearish right here. But again, there's a level of resistance coming. So you could do one of two things. You could always have a line right here, show you what's going on. And in this circumstance right there, that's pretty close to resistance level. Do you want to take that? Not really. All right. Now, it actually did pop off and have a larger move, but that's not something I would have done myself, even though I'm mad I missed it. But again, there's lots of times where it just doesn't work out that way. So you just want to know that when you are making those trades, you have a really good idea they're going to make money. Therefore, you're not risking money. There's no real reason for me to add extra risk. I know I'm missing out on opportunities sometimes, but when I do buy, I'm making money and my portfolio is always growing larger and larger and larger. Now, even though we missed that one, guess what? We have a breakout right here with a bullish MACD. And guess what? That one ended up going higher and higher. And again, there's different ways you can do it. You can do this right here. You can see that you could have sold maybe right here if you bought right there. Probably not the best one. You'd probably be looking for a Fibonacci level or something similar. Again, there's tons of different ways you can do that, but you can just imagine this right here. This is why every chart's so different. All right. If you're buying this next move right here, probably best to sell right there. And you saw it had a temporary knockdown. And of course it went higher. Awesome. But wouldn't you be happy to buy right here on the breakout, rally that up here and make some money? That's usually how I see it. The selling point is going to always be more difficult for the buying point of this type of tutorial, because we're going to always be looking at a little bit more greed when we're looking to buy. But I think as long as you guys are walking away with a profit, you guys don't have to worry about being too greedy and not. Right? You can have a trailing stop loss. You can have some type of stop loss to help you as the price of the asset goes higher and higher and higher. If it starts to drop, you have that stop loss enabled. You take your profit, you run, and you're going to be in a very happy mood. Now, you can see over here, there's lots of other examples of when this was happening. You can see some bearish ones over here, a bullish one right here. But in the bullish one, again, you're at that level of resistance, so you got to be careful about how long you want to hold it. But once we ended up going into the more bearish one, you'll still see that it works out every now and again, but they're just not going to be as profitable as you would want them to be all the time, okay? So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. If you guys want to go down this path and you guys want to be doing these day trade longs where the weekly chart is not in your favor, they can still work. They're just not going to be a very high win rate. So instead of being like 85 to 95% accurate, they're probably going to be anywhere between 70 to 75% accurate, which is still good, but that's up to you if you are willing to go down that path for that type of accuracy. The majority of people that I've taught this strategy to will take these trades at the same time because they're anticipating that at least the daily charts are still bullish, even if the weekly ones aren't. Therefore, the medium-term momentum is enough to keep the short-term trades, the bullish ones, moving in the right direction. All right, so that's one way of doing it right there. And of course, this was still a bearish time over here. These are still working out in your favor. It's just that for the first one, I'm much more aggressive because I know those ones are going to make me money. If you want to go into more of the choppiness, maybe you guys don't have a high as leverage, or maybe you guys just practice this a little bit more, get used to how often you're going to win, and then start putting your money into it instead of going in there, blind without having any experience in these types of trades. Okay, so that's the daily trading one right there, the day trading one. Next up, we have the swing trading one. Same type of concept. You can see right here. Let me go over to the weekly chart if I can. And I'll put two lines on there. This one was May 5th. And this ended over here, like we said, May 17th. There you go. And you'll see when we do these daily ones and the weekly ones, there can be months of nothing happening like this. You guys can still do the day trading strategies if you wanted to, like these ones, but just make sure the daily ones are set as well, not just the weekly. The daily ones have to be good. If the weekly is not good, the daily ones have to be good. Let me just say that, okay? Now, let's go over here and let's go over to the 4-hour chart. This is where I like to do my monster types of moves. So if I see right here, See how it's bullish right there and a bullish right here? This is where I go heavy. There's no real large level of resistance. You can see there's at the level of resistance is actually a little bit higher over here if you can. This is just a short-term peak. The resistance level that we had back over here, that was the resistance, but we broke out of it. So the next time we come into contact with that resistance, it's a lot easier to break out above it. So this type of move right here, this rallied before you sold because, again, a nice big monster move. That made you around 5.83% because you waited for it to close back down below the Bollinger Band. About 6% basically. 6% with a 5x leverage, a 10x leverage, that's going to make you good money. But if you did that with an Ethereum chart or Solana chart, a Dogecoin chart, ADA, XRP, that's where you can make a good chunk of cash right there. Okay. Now, you can notice there was only one real trade in there, but let's say you're just going off of the daily ones here and you just want to make sure that, hey, you know, we have a lot of times the MACD is very good for us. So what I can do instead of actually just putting all of this going back and forth, let me just add another MACD here just for our own sanity. This is going to be a basic one. There's nothing going to be changing out of this. And we're going to have this one stick to, let me see, for us right now, we don't really need it to do anything here. In fact, let's just do the weekly one for now. Excuse me. Let's just make these lines a little bit thicker. There we go. All right. So the daily one got bearish over here, but the weekly one was still getting bullish, right? Therefore, you still have the ability to go long. Right here, you can see there's a little bit of resistance levels, and you bearish right there. So maybe you don't buy this one, even though it does go higher. You're just like, I'm not too confident about that one. And again, it went higher, but at the time you buy it, you really don't know exactly what's going to happen. You can kind of say, okay, we're in a downtrend right here. Momentum is flattening out, but the weekly charts are still good. Maybe I can go with the momentum, but you know, a lot of times it can be icky because again, right here, it may have worked out, but that one, it did not work out. It went straight down after it told you to buy. This one kind of worked out, ran into some levels of resistance, didn't really do much. And now that we have everything being bullish right here, you can buy right there, have your stop loss right there, ride the wave. You can see there's a level of resistance up here. All right. So if you buy right here, you know you're going to sell right there, or you're going to be holding on for something longer term. You have the ability to do what you want here. Sometimes I've seen people just buy right there. They're going to have a stop loss right there, and then they're just going to wait to see if it breaks out. And if it gets knocked back down and it doesn't hit their stop loss, they're going to keep on holding it until they see what happens. So imagine you did that back over, there's no opportunity where everything was bullish, right? So we can't back test it there. But if this were to come back down and hit your stop loss, you take the losing trade, and that's it. You don't buy back in, you don't do anything. That's losing trade. It's okay, it happens, and you don't really risk too much more money than you have to. Now, go forward a little bit more over here. You can see a buy signal over here. This one ended up working out. And in fact, you can see there's a buy signal and it turned green way back over here. So as long as everything is still green when the MACD turns over and you have that signal right there, you can buy right here and play it up to that next level of resistance. Not up here, but to there. This is a little bit of a higher risk play, of course, because you're kind of buying it a little bit further away from that buy signal. But as long as everything is still bullish, and it's still within that green super trend momentum, you can still buy right there. Again, bullish here, but bearish here. That one doesn't work out. Bearish. This one does work out. So it's not going to be like, oh my God, it's a miracle type of thing. I'm not even taking this trade. Now this one right here, bearish. Again, it worked out, right? But I'm just typically not making that trade. I know it may seem kind of weird to people out there. I definitely understand it. But when I trade, I want to feel super confident that I'm going to be making money. And there are plenty of times where it doesn't work out like this, or it doesn't work out like this. And I've learned that over time. So I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, he's missing out on all these opportunities. I'm choosing to miss out on these opportunities because in the past, I've seen the exact same thing and the market come down in a totally different direction, losing me a lot of money, hitting my stop losses and making me very upset. So I just take those out of the equation. Therefore, when I trade, when I'm happy, when I'm good, I'm making money, making profits, then I can pause and I don't feel the urge to get back into the market unless I know, oh, I know that's going to make me some money. Let's put some cash down right now. All right. So that's that strategy right there. And then lastly, we have the 4-hour strategy that comes with the Supertrend and a bunch of other just stuff in here, right? And not even the Supertrend, I would say. Just really a smart money concepts following the same type of strategy here. So what I need to do for this one, because the color candles are supposed to be on, I need to go over here, hit this 3 little dots. And if you guys don't see the color candles like they are right now, go to visual order and just say bring to front. All right, now I can move around and the colors actually stay green to red. All right, so 2 ways of doing this. If you're on the 4-hour chart and you see that the MACD has turned green and the change of character is green, what you can do is actually go long right here when the MACD turns green and ride that wave up. Also for us, it's also happening with the breakout of a level of resistance. You can ride that wave. You can have your levels of resistance or whatever. You can see it happen back over here as well. The green MACD followed by a change of character right around the same time. You can buy around here and you can ride that wave. Bearish, so you don't buy. This one over here, there was no, it's still going to give me issues. There we go. This one right here, too far away. You can see it was bullish right here, but nothing really happened there. This one over here. Again, I have to zoom out a couple seconds for this one. Is it going to work out for me? No, I'm not in the large time frame. But this one right here, you know you're at a level of resistance when it's green. You don't do that one. This one over here, you know you're at a big level of resistance right there. And this one over here, when you're not at a big level of resistance, you can see how you're breaking out above it. You can try to play this one right here, knowing you have a resistance, so you sell right there. Or you can wait for the breakout, which is, again, a technical breakout, which is a bullish signal in and of itself, along with that momentum to ride it higher. This one is not going to be as reliable as the last 2 I showed you, but for those of you guys that don't have a premium setup or you guys can't add all the indicators onto your charts, I think this is a nice little hybrid model to help you guys out with until you guys can afford the premium version, which comes out, I believe, November for Black Friday. It's like 70% off, so just save it. I'll have a link down in my description. Use it, save you guys a lot of money. Don't buy that one, bearish. Don't buy this one, bearish. This one was kind of choppy here, so maybe you look at it. But again, there's a level of resistance. It's breaking out. If you want to buy over here, you have a stop loss over here, and last big major trough you can see. You can try to ride that up, all right? So there's a few ways of going about this. But I want to make sure you guys understand that when you're doing all of these trades, the goal really is you only want to go long on swing trading or day trading when the charts overall are bullish. So when you're swing trading, you want the daily charts to be bullish and you want the weekly charts to be bullish. If you want to swing trade, you really only need the weekly charts to be bullish, but it helps if both the daily and the weekly are bullish, okay? And then for day trading, it's imperative, in my opinion, that you guys have the daily charts being bullish and the weekly charts being bullish. Imperative that that's true. If you guys want to go out of that norm, if you will, at least make sure that the 4-hour charts are bullish if you want to go down to the 15-minute charts. At least do that for me. That way you guys can at least have a high win rate, which is going to be very useful for you guys. The issue with this strategy is that it's not going to let you trade every day, but when the market is giving you lemons, you're going to make some fantastic lemonade out of that. And this is why I bring in the altcoins here. Because when you know Bitcoin is going higher, then you know altcoins will go higher too. So if you see that all those signals I gave you that Bitcoin is going higher and Bitcoin made you some money, well, again, you could double down by doing a $500 5x Bitcoin trade, but then you can do a 1000x 5x Ethereum trade, and that Ethereum trade will make you a lot more money. I like to buy both Bitcoin and Ethereum, but there's going to be people that say, hey, I'm just going to look at the Bitcoin charts, see what it tells me, then based off of what the Bitcoin charts are doing, I will buy my Ethereum with higher leverage and more money because I expect to make more volatility there. All right, and that's perfectly okay. You guys can decide on which path that you guys want to take. All I ask is that when you guys are, testing these strategies out, I have a bunch of exchanges down below. Sign up for some of those. They're 100% free, but use the demo version so you guys can actually practice with fake money, because that's really what's going to say, hey, oh, this is working for me. Oh my gosh, now I feel the confidence I need to put money into this trade. Ooh, I'm making money. Now I can put a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. But now MicroStrategy tells me not to trade anymore. Well, let me just take a break from trading, or let me try out a different strategy, because my strategy is just one of many. But instead of risking my money when I'm testing out all these other people's strategies, let me just do some paper trading. And because you've already made money using my strategy over the past few weeks, you're not going to feel the need to just like put money into the market, because you've made something. You don't want to risk it if you're not really sure of another person's strategy, right? And what I think is very useful for a lot of you guys to understand is there are thousands of strategies I've seen on YouTube, thousands and thousands of them. Some are very entertaining videos that don't really give you any meat. Some are a lot of meat like mine, but they're really kind of boring, and I understand that. But if they have a strategy that you think is going to work for day trading, why not only follow their buy signals when the daily momentum and the weekly momentum tell you to buy? Because that'll make their strategies even better, because therefore you only have to buy during those really bullish opportunities. So you won't have to really risk losing as much as the original poster is losing, because they're doing it all the time when you're just doing it during the bullish momentum. All right. So next up, if you guys want to test the strategy on some of the exchange partners, whatever, please comment down any questions that you guys have. I don't know why I got rid of that one right there. And please subscribe for more tutorials. I try really hard to make these things for you guys, and I think I do a decent job, but I'm just not an entertainer that uses a lot of graphics and stuff like that. So please go step by step and practice these different types of trading strategies. When the weekly charts are good, the monthly charts are good, the daily charts are good, it opens up a lot of doors, but they're only good for a certain period of time. And that's why you guys really have to do the majority of your trading around then, because then when you start having signals that are mixed matched, like the daily MACD is bearish, but the weekly one is bullish, you can still go long if you have a buy signal, but it's not going to be have a high win rates like the original one. So instead of being 85-90% accurate, it might be 75. That's still good, but you guys understand that the more you kind of deviate from that strategy, the higher the risk becomes. But for a lot of you guys, 65% is enough to make you guys want to do that trade, right? So it just depends on how accurate you guys really want to be. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys a lot. Subscribe, watch the video again if you guys need to, because this is a lot of information I kind of plug down your throat in a short amount of time. But anything you guys can do, comment, chat, whatever, appreciate you guys. Thank you.